What's up, folks? My name is Maximilian, and welcome back to the bi-weekly series that takes a look at some of the more intricate aspects and the non-competitive elements of fighting games. You're watching Super Arts. As many of us know, fighting games can be a very niche genre amongst the video gaming community. Getting an audience to invest in a new fighting game can prove extremely challenging outside of already existing gigantically established brands. But back in the mid-90s, there were some that did just that, and a specific one that would break the mold and expand to audiences across the globe. Enter the world of Tekken 3. Tekken 3, to this day, still stands as an absolute phenomenon of the genre. It's no joke when a fighting game outsells Street Fighter II on the Super Nintendo and is right under Final Fantasy VII, one of the biggest video games of all time. Tekken 3 ended up selling a total of 8.5 million units. It's the second most successful fighting game next to Super Smash Bros. Brawl. But of course, the first couple of Tekken games were no slouch either. The original Tekken went on to sell the first million units of any PlayStation game, and Tekken 2 pushed out over 5 million units sold. But everything peaked with Tekken 3, and it still stands as one of the most highly regarded and highly reviewed fighting games of all time. So let's discuss why. Outside of the core gameplay, Tekken 3 would offer more modes than many fighting games had ever seen before. Instead of just a redundant arcade port that Namco and Capcom were guilty of many times in the past, Tekken 3 featured a mode called Tekken Force Mode, a side-scrolling beat-em-up where you can take any member of the cast and beat up characters similar to previous games like Final Fight. And just to throw this in, it's also got one of my favorite lines of dialogue in any video game ever.
Chicken.
Now, all these things were amazing for Tekken 3, raising its average review score to a 96 out of 100. But I was there back in 1998 for all this stuff, and the hype for Tekken 3 was absolutely unreal. And I really believe that there were a few things that were dire and critical for this game's success outside of the core gameplay. And the biggest one is, well, the overall presentation. Tekken 3 felt like it was in a fully realized world, which was much different than many other fighting games. Besides some of the core story elements from Tekken 1 and 2, which primarily consists of the Mishima family throwing each other off cliffs in really awkward CG, Tekken 3 had some of the most impressive CG sequences you had seen ever, which included the opening movie and unique character endings for everyone. I still remember trying to beat the game with every single member of the roster, just so I can see the CG splendor that was their ending. And as it's come to be known, games that are a lot like movies are definitely scoffed at right now, but back in the 90s, that was the entire goal of some of these games, to make you feel like you were in a movie experience. And the quality of Tekken cinematics really screamed to that. The quality also extended to several other aspects of Tekken 3 outside of just these digital movies. The character art was also completely done in CG, and even to this day doesn't look too bad on some characters. Minus Xiao Yu's really creepy baby face, I think the character designs in Tekken 3 are a step in the perfect direction. The only other competition Tekken 3 had as far as 3D fighters back in the mid-90s was literally the Virtua Fighter series. And as a personal Sega fan, I love Virtua Fighter and I still love it to this day. I think those characters are amazing and should never be forgotten. The Tekken 1 and 2 roster next to Virtua Fighter characters kind of show off a very similar thematic art style. But even though the series was doing quite well with Tekken 1 and 2 as we described before, Namco chose to change things with Tekken 3. Swapping out many of the original character designs with something completely new, they also got rid of the main poster boy for the Tekken series being Kazuya. But as much of a risky move this was, it ended paying off big for Namco, because they ended up creating, in my opinion, one of the greatest main character designs ever in a fighting game. I believe that Jin Kazama and most of his crafted elements end up being close to reused design in Street Fighter as literally one of the greatest main characters in a video game you can possibly have. Jin perfectly represents Tekken 3 and where this fighting game series was going. Tekken 3 also features one of the greatest designed versions of Yoshimitsu, a highly popular and known Tekken character that has seen a completely different design in every single Tekken game he's been in. This design was also reused for the recently released Street Fighter Cross Tekken from Capcom, and still looks really damn good to this day. So let's go back and say it's 1998 now. You're exposed to a couple of screenshots, maybe a commercial on TV, and this game seriously looks like it's got some of the best looking characters in a video game ever, as well as some of the most eye-capturing and captivating presentation. Then you put the disc into your PlayStation and see what the game actually looks like. The graphics literally blew minds, and is a testament to the success of Tekken. Everyone had to own Tekken 3. It validated your PlayStation purchase because this game was so gorgeous. It looked just as good as the arcade version. It ran at 60 frames per second on the friggin' PlayStation, and had some of the most fluid motion capture you had seen in a video game to date. If you saw Tekken 3 running from a distance, fights looked like a choreographed martial arts masterpiece, and upon closer inspection, you realized you were just watching a video game. And then after playing it, being in control of these characters, their moves, the simplicity of the combat, Tekken 3 was everything it needed to be. Pushing fighting games into a brand new direction of overall presentation and quality. Everyone was playing Tekken 3 and everyone was telling their friends about it. A testament to games and how word of mouth can sell more copies of a title than any marketing scheme could. It was in no doubt an absolute phenomenon for the fighting game genre.
The King of Iron Fist Tournament. Enter the Tekken.
Thanks for watching, folks, and a huge thanks to anyone that supports the Super Art series by sharing the video with a friend or leaving a thumbs up. If you'd like to get a copy of Tekken 3, you'll sadly have to find a used one for the original PlayStation, as the game is not available on PlayStation Network, but it is available as a pack-in bonus for the PlayStation 2 game Tekken 5. Once again, thanks for watching, and if there's a topic you'd like to see covered on Super Arts, leave me a comment below.